So first time experiencing the 570S in a more real-world situation, unlike on the racetrack. This is similarly to living with one, essentially. The nice test drive here Mclaren is offering in Monterey for Car Week. Letting it shift itself right now. That 7-speed dual clutch is pretty fast. This is essentially a 911 Turbo S, Audi R8 V10, that level of competitor, the entry-level supercar. And it provides a ton of performance. Essentially the same engine, that 3.8 liter twin turbo V8 as the 12C and the 650S, tuned to a different horsepower output level, 562 horsepower. But man, that 7-speed dual clutch and the carbon fiber tub, same as the higher level cars. It is light and it's fast. Rear-wheel drive only.
The biggest difference between the 570S and the 570 GT, the GT is the latest vehicle now that we make. Fundamentally, they're very similar to each other. It's still the same 3.8 litre V8 twin turbocharged engine. 0 to 60 is 3.4 seconds. Still a top speed of 204 miles an hour. The biggest difference between the two is it's still got the, let's say, the supercar performance in the GT. However, behind us, we've got luggage space.
Yep.
We've got the glass hatch that opens up to the side, so you can get overnight bags in there or suit bags or anything like that. Also, as standard, it doesn't come with a sports exhaust, so it's a little quieter. Okay. So if you're on a long journey, you don't get the exhaust resonating through.
Sure.
Steel brakes are standard, so carbon ceramics are standard on the 570S.
Yep.
And then inside the seats are a little more cushiony as well.
Yeah, no, that's
If
nice.
you look up into the roof, we've got the glass moon roof as well. It's a solid roof when you're on the 570S.
The front and rear are 15% and 10% lighter in terms of the suspension.
Right.
And got a little bit lighter, slower steering rack on the GT.
Correct.
The 570.
Yes, yeah. The section we're sat in right now, the carbon fiber monocell, still the same.
Yep.
Extremely lightweight. It's like 154 pounds. Very low down to the ground as well, so very low center of gravity. Extremely strong.
So the 3.4 seconds to 60, is this significantly heavier than the 570? Or is it because it comes with different tires, right? Quieter tires on this versus...
Well, I think it's a mixture of a couple of things. It's a mixture of a little bit, it's got a little bit more added weight in there because it's got the rear hatch,
Yep.
It's got the seats, and also as well because you've got the rear hatch, the aerodynamics play a certain effect in there as well.
Sure.
It's only 0.2 of a second difference. The 570S is 3.2.
I drove a 570S around the track, and the performance driver who was with me was at a thing called Extreme Experience, where you got to drive stuff around the track.
Yeah.
They said that the turbos are electronically controlled in a way that if you are not pointing the steering wheel straight, it won't give you full boost.
I don't know that detail of that, I've got to be honest. Yeah.
Noticed on the racetrack, actually, we were driving, what we were told was that the turbos, they electronically limit, so you don't get full boost until the steering wheel is pointed straight. Do you know if that's true or not?
It is.
Yeah. So it actually felt like really bad lag going around the corner, trying to give it more gas. But then as soon as you're back on the straight and the power comes in, it is so shockingly fast. This is a great road too, holy crap. Love the feeling of the paddle shifters. It's like set up on a rocker basis, so when you pull forward on the right paddle, the left goes up, so you can actually, let's see. If I push forward on the right paddle, the downshift, that's pretty cool too. A nice carbon fiber, perfectly positioned at the steering wheel so you can pull them easily. It's shocking how civilized and usable this car is compared to older supercars. This is so refined and comfortable. Everything is leather lined. It's not excessively harsh. Wow, you could drive this for a long period of time and not be horribly fatigued. And it's nimble. I mean, it shrinks around you when you're going around corners too.
I'm going to put you into track mode.
Okay.
On both handling and performance, and I'm putting you into manual on the gears.
All right.
Now we're in track mode. It's different, cool. Yeah, and the whole tack changes, and you get actually the gear shift lights above there as well.
Feels very nice in the corners.
The initial turn into the corners is super precise,
super sharp.
Yeah.
I don't really think you miss that. The fact that this has a softer and less direct steering than the 70S, it doesn't really feel noticeable. from a non-track driver's perspective.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
And so this car starts at what,
Just over
210,000?
just over 200. It's about
Okay.
201.
Yeah, sure.
And then the 570S is about 185.
This car slots in what McLaren calls the Sport Series, below the 650S, 675 level, and obviously far below the P1 level. But it's their attempt to finally make an entry-level car that falls below that 200K starting price range. I definitely personally really want one of these. I can see myself getting one within maybe the next 2 years. It's a great car because you can use it. It's very practical. The big front boot is way larger than the Lamborghinis have because it's rear-wheel drive. There's not, that space isn't taken up there. Really comfortable two-seater car. I mean, man, I could really see myself taking this on a road trip. I like how for the climate control it shows a guy with a racing helmet on it. So powertrain and track mode changes throttle, transmission, and is that pretty much it?
That's it.
Okay.
The handling, the steering, and suspension.
I see. Okay. That is fast. Driven a 650?
Yes, I have.
How does, because obviously there's a huge price difference, the suspension is better in the 650S, but how do you think this compares to that? Like,
Well, on the normal public street roads,
yes.
It's hard to tell. In a racetrack, what you can tell the differences.
Okay.
Obviously, the complicated and more sophisticated suspension.
Yes, the hydraulics there, okay.
And the active arrow.
Okay,
and,
yeah, that's a big difference there.
Your spoiler that can control braking. And
Okay.
More stability and
Yeah.
stability. And the power, it generates power.
Uh-huh.
In the 650, instantly creates the power.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not controllable.
I see.
If you're not professional.
Okay. Actually, the 570S made, from the design perspective, a lot of people think it looks smaller than a 650S, but dimension-wise, it's actually larger than the 650S. Again, a little more interior space, more usability along those lines right there. But it doesn't feel like a large car at all when you're driving it. It's still a tiny little go-kart. This car just feels extremely easy to drive. Again, this is my second time in a 570S, and already I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with it. Seating position is great. Visibility is great for a supercar, I mean. And steering is not too heavy. It's very easy. It's like perfectly weighted right there. The transmission is excellent, easy to use. This test drive has to be sold. Yeah, this has been really cool because I have driven this car on the track and gotten to see just go all out, floor it everywhere. Now it's more, this test drive, we're on public roads, can't go too crazy. It's more of the usability of it, how friendly it would be living with it on a daily basis. Again, these seats are extremely comfortable. Everything, excellent materials, and everything looks like excellent craftsmanship. Leather everywhere. It's got the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which I'm sure is great. It is such a usable car that you can tear it up on the track and then flip a switch back in the comfort mode and stuff and drive around, and it's perfectly fine.
So we just got back from driving some McLaren 570s. I drove the 570 GT. You drove the 570S.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure you were equally as blown away.
Yeah.
It's an extremely light car. It feels very nimble. Twin turbo, 3.8 liter V8, but it doesn't feel turbocharged really.
Yeah, it was fast.
It is definitely fast at the upper RPM ranges.
Yes.
The interesting thing is your 570S, of course with MSO and McLaren in general, you can spec stuff however
Way
you
expensive,
want.
yeah.
The GT, actually, the interior of mine wasn't as luxurious as yours.
But here's the thing, like this one is just GT.
Yeah.
I think it's the color. The like that one is in red. The all black just makes it a little more everything
Definitely.
washed, so you don't really see the design and stuff. But I like these interiors a lot.
Yeah.
Everything feels extremely high quality. Everything is covered in leather. The stitching looks perfect. Carbon trim.
For an extra 16 grand, the 570 GT is $201,000.
Yes.
570S is $185,000.
Yes.
You get just an incredible amount of space.
Yeah, you
in
get
the back.
a little more comfortable. And
The one thing we were talking about that might be an issue is because of the way
It's
the window
warm.
is situated, if it's a hot day, your stuff back there is going to get fried. So
Yes.
if you put something, any sort of electronics, they're probably
or
going
food.
to overheat.
Don't keep
Or
ice cream
food.
in there. It'll
That's
be
another
melted
good
when
thing.
you get home.
But you do have an impressive amount of space in the front trunk.
Yes. Actually, I think my favorite part of the GT is the sunroof.
Oh yeah.
Hey, just look at all the light in here that as we're filming this. it makes the cabin feel much more open, much more airy, and just it's light and bring
Yeah,
it in.
so that's not an option on the 570S.
Nope.
And as of now, they don't know if they're coming out with a 570 Spider. So if you want the open air kind of
More of
vibe
that, yes.
and feel less claustrophobic, this is
Get
gorgeous.
a GT. You can't go wrong with either car. I think they're both brilliant cars within that segment for the money. It's
Absolutely. I mean, so your other options are a 911 Turbo S,
R8
a
V10,
Audi R8 V10,
AMG GTS.
and of those, I'd say this looks and feels the most exotic. It's
definitely.
got
way more than a Porsche.
the awesome doors.
Yes.
The looks of it are very aggressive. The rear of it almost looks a bit like a P1.
I mean, the front also the same McLaren arc headlights.
And they finally changed the back.
Yes.
I didn't. He disagrees with me, but I wasn't a huge fan of the way the rear of the 12C and
Some
the
people don't like them,
650S
yeah.
look. Especially when they moved to the 650S, they really didn't change the rear from a 12C. It's
They
almost
didn't.
impossible to tell the difference.
Yeah.
But this looks much more modern. It's a very attractive car. The interior is super nice.
Look
as well.
at-
It's draped in leather.
The Bowers and Wilkins sound system. We got little speakers up there. This is a little tweeter in the middle.
That's awesome.
It shifts so quickly. I
shifts
like,
very
and the
quickly.
click is such a satisfying noise every time you.
All of the
pull it.
components in the McLaren feel really high quality. I
Definitely.
mean, changing the track mode or just the volume controls, everything.
Everything is. Yeah.
They didn't cut any corners.
Even
to
though it's
make
the baby
their
McLaren.
lower end
Yeah.
car. I mean,
Overall-
this is the Sport Series with the 570S and
not the
GT,
Super
but
Series.
does not mean that it is any less awesome.
Yes. So, thanks to McLaren for inviting us out here
Absolutely.
to experience the vehicles. You got a test drive. You're gonna check out their entire facility here, and excited to someday become a McLaren owner. Hopefully soon.
I'm sure you will. It's just not even a question.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse our channel and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you.
Like
next
gravity.
video.